Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are very fortunate to be here with Christine, who is a motorcyclist. She's also an instructor, so that's part 2 of the interview. We're going to start with 10 questions for a motorcyclist, a rider, someone who rides. Thank you so much for being on camera, agreeing to be interviewed.
Your smile makes it
much easier. On your evening off after a long day of riding. I really appreciate it. So we'll dive straight into the very first question, which is a kind of a two-parter. What was your very first motorcycle experience? How old were you, and who taught you to ride?
My first motorcycle experience happened in my 20s, so it's later than a lot of motorcyclists that I know. And I was one of those 20-year-olds that saw a motorcycle and thought that was cool. So my first riding experience was a safety class.
Oh. Let's high-five that.
Yeah, a safety class. So I wanted to know if I liked it and if I could do it.
So you took a safety class.
Yep.
All right.
And so, yeah.
So the instructors were the first people to teach you?
That's right.
Right. Mm-hmm. No riding dirty in your teens? No being thrown on the back of a bike?
I didn't even think about it until I was in my 20s. I saw a bike go by. It had a really fat rear tire. I have no idea what kind of bike it was. I'm like, that looks cool. And I wanted to try it.
So
I never thought about
family members that had bikes?
Zero. Nothing. It was that tire.
It just, there you go. All right. No, that's everybody's different, right? With
that's
their experiences. Right. Question 2. What was your first motorcycle that you owned or were given? First bike?
It was a Honda Shadow 600. I wanted to get a Harley. I test rode both. And Harley wouldn't approve me. So I got them.
For a loan? For credit?
No, that's not right, actually. The Honda Shadow, I wanted that bike for sure.
Right. You looked at it and made you smile.
Yeah.
That's a good-looking bike.
Pretty. I like the back tire. Okay. And with my limited experience, if it didn't have chrome, it wasn't a motorcycle. That's all I knew.
It was shiny.
It was
shiny. I remember the shadows. Okay. What color was it?
It was like a mint green and black.
Mint green and black. Yeah. Question 3. What is and why did you choose your current motorcycle?
Okay. Before I get into that one, I had fun riding the first one with a backpack and my dog. Not very safe, but that was super
fun. The dog in the backpack?
Yep. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I had...
what are you riding right now?
Yeah, I have a 1200 GS BMW 2014. And... before I had this bike, I had an Aprilia Dosadoro. It's the Motard. And so I've always loved the taller, wide bars kind of bike. But my commute was extensive. It was maybe an hour, but I was tired and it's cold. And on freeway speeds, you know, there's no fairing, there's no covering. So I'm like holding on. And then I see these guys on cruisers go by and they're just like no work. I'm like, the problem here is I tried the heated grips, I tried a fairing, I tried bags, and just the ordeal of having to saddle up and pack everything was too much.
Right.
So I needed a bigger bike. So I asked Lee Parks, should I get a BMW RT or a GS? I had test ridden both of them.
Okay.
And I test rode the GS because I'd seen the long way around, long way down. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just love that style of bike.
The dual sport.
Yeah, the dual sport. So then I test rode it, and I thought, that's a really nice bike. And the guy at the shop asked me, how'd you like it? I'm like, I like it, but I don't want a nice bike. I have the Motard. I wanted something more exciting. But when I asked Lee which bike should I get, the RT or the GS, he's like, you're too young to get the RT. And I said, Lee, I don't ride in the dirt, you know. I'm gonna feel like a poser. It's like not everybody rides in the dirt, so I got the tall bike and it's been awesome.
And learn to ride it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Question 4, how often do you ride?
Yeah, so that's the funny thing. I ride, honestly, I can't remember the last time I rode just to ride. Because I do a lot of riding to go to work, to trainings, and I get to ride when I do training. And now I live in Las Vegas, so the roads are quite straight there. I mean, they have some nice curvy roads, like 45 minutes away, but it's not.
No.
It's not worth it. Not worth the gear. It's not worth the risk.
Right.
So when I have wonderful opportunities to go to California and I find myself on a beautiful road, then I'm like, this is awesome. Or,
So you ride pretty much almost daily for work, or at least a few
Not-
times a week?
I would say there's periods
Okay.
of more riding. Now, I just came back from Pennsylvania a while ago. Oh no, I started this new position, so I get to come into California more often.
Right.
Before I was working remotely, and so I had a long spout of no riding.
Okay. All right. Question number 5. This is a fun one. If you could take a long distance road trip anywhere in the world, a bucket list road trip, on a motorcycle, where would you go and who would you take? Alive or dead? Anybody?
Even though I like the idea of going to South Africa, I think that'd be neat. I still love the idea of going through Europe.
Europe.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I know there's so
Germany,
many.
Italy, Switzerland.
All of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have a hub and then circle out and then come back.
Right. Mediterranean countries.
I
Yeah.
love that. So, and I would take someone I had recently met, where this person, he went on some long ride after his father passed, and he had barely learned how to ride. He didn't even know what he didn't know, but he just went, and I think it would be super fun to go with that person. So.
Okay. Awesome. Alrighty. Question number 6. If you could only own one motorcycle, what would it be?
Only one. I'd have
You
to.
only have one for the rest of your life. This is the magic bike that never goes wrong. There's always parts available. Maybe you're riding
Oh,
it.
I really.
Maybe you're riding it. Yeah.
Because I love motards. I just love them. But they can't take me the distances that I like and need to go, and they're just not as comfortable for the length of time
Right.
that I'd be riding. So the GS really, as far as my experience that I know, is the bike that can do.
Perfect
Do it
answer.
all.
Perfect answer. Do you have a favorite motorcycle YouTuber or YouTube channel that you follow?
I don't follow any, but I just listened to one recently, and it's like, is it like Sticky Pants or? It's a
Itchy Boots?
Yeah, that one. I just saw the first
Right.
video, and that she goes
She's amazing.
around the world on her
Norley. Her name's Norley.
Morley. Yeah.
Norley. Yeah.
Norley.
Yeah.
And she's so, just to have the faith and to go out there that it's all going to be okay. Whereas
You know, right now she's coming up from South America, and she's going to be coming through San Diego and Los Angeles, she's doing the long way up.
Oh,
from
neat.
the bottom of South America. She's going all the way up to Alaska.
yeah, I don't know, just time I haven't watched her, and then
Yeah, so she's wonderful, yeah.
when I started watching it, then I start questioning my life choices, you know. So that's probably why I'm not watching it. So.
Okay.
She's awesome.
Right.
Maybe I want to go around the world with her. That'd be fun too.
Alrighty. Question 8? What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you while riding a motorcycle?
It wasn't that big of a deal, but it sticks out in my mind as a clear signal that how easy it is to ride.
Okay.
And it was just an off-ramp in San Diego on the Dosadoro, and it was just tighter than I thought. And I had to stand the bike up, and I'm like, even though I've been in like 2 crashes, right? That was
Yeah, it's
more
interesting.
scary.
Some people that have crashes don't describe it as being the most frightening thing they've ever had happen to them on a bike.
No.
They crash, they don't remember necessarily a lot about the crash, so it wasn't that frightening.
Yeah.
It's the realization that the near misses.
The near misses are more
the
scary.
the near-death experiences are more frightening.
Yeah,
When you realize,
it's really
like, wow, I could have gotten hurt or killed.
Yeah. So that was
So
it.
an off-ramp in San Diego. What
Yeah,
were
it
you
was
doing?
just tighter.
You just
I
came in
must-
too hot?
I just
Yeah.
And so
You didn't lose the back end or anything?
Nope.
It didn't got squirrely? It just...
and then riding in the mud is and sand is petrifying to me. So those were also
As everything starts to sink.
oh my gosh.
And you-
Even going up a hill and then the bike going up and over
Right.
wasn't as scary as actually trying to go through sand or
Yeah.
mud. That makes me real tense.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. I tell a lot of my students, go out and take a dirt course.
Oh.
Because once you get used to riding in the dirt with no traction,
Yeah.
and the bike underneath you is just twitching away, searching for traction.
Take 1 or 20
Or
dirt
20,
classes.
right. As soon as you get back on asphalt and concrete, you're like, what is this magical sticky stuff called traction? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 9. We are almost done. What is the most favorite thing? We've gone from the most scariest thing to now. What's your most favorite thing about riding a motorcycle? Why do you do it? You know it's incredibly dangerous. You know it's. Why do you do it? What floats your
Well,
boat?
I don't know if you've taken the ARC level 2, but it talks about specifically the types of people who do things that involve risk and danger. You know, whether it's flying a plane
Right.
or skydiving or scuba diving. It's the
Why take the risk?
managing that risk is satisfying, and I
You like
just
to be in control.
it's all an illusion of that control, but I like managing the risks, and I like it. Just makes me really engaged. Most of
Being
the
the boss of the bike.
it feels fantastic.
Yeah,
You know,
I
there's a
agree
lot
with
of
you.
the
No, I'm
power
right
of
there
the
with
throttle
you.
and the brakes. You
A lot
get
of
that
motorcyclists
visceral.
have different things that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. I get different answers, and every time I ask this question, it's never the same thing.
Interesting.
What does it for you? Why do you do it? What's the main thing that just makes you? I get depressed when I don't ride.
Oh wow.
I get sad.
It's like you're.
For me, it's yoga for my soul.
Oh, wonderful.
So yours is control
And the power
and
of
the
it.
power and managing the fear.
Managing all the elements.
Okay.
You know, whether it's the traction or the traffic.
Do you still get scared? Riding?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not enough of a fear to stop you from riding. No. Like I can handle it. Because of your training and skill level.
Yeah.
And yet to do it. You're prepared to accept the risks. And mitigate them with everything.
As best as I
best
can.
as you can.
Yeah, as best
Great
as I
answer.
can.
Final question number 10. What's the best piece of advice you can give new riders?
Training. There's you just.
And then more training.
and
When
more
you're done with
training.
training, go get more training.
Yeah,
Practice, practice.
You don't know what you don't know, and
Right.
until then, you know more. Then
Yeah.
you can't even make good decisions for yourself.
Yeah. I'm thoroughly humbled by the current weekend's
Right.
experience. I'm just like, and I like getting pushed out of my comfort zone.
It's good.
Realizing that I've got more to learn, more to practice, and just get better and better and better. And being around other riders that are better than you, know more, have more control,
Yeah.
more training, more technique. Just
And it makes it so much more fun.
yeah,
It's when the fear goes down. And to be clear, I'm not talking about not just training courses, but you have to train and practice regularly
Yeah.
if you want to really reap the benefits
agreed.
of such a wonderful machine. Oh, so excited.
Christine, thank you so much for answering the questions. I wish you many safe riding
Thank
miles.
you. You too.
Done.